Hi, today I will be talking about Jimmy Carter, who was a president in the U.S. Jimmy Carter was born in Plains, Georgia, in the United States. His wife's name is Rosalind Carter, and he has 4 kids: John William, James Earl Carter, Donnell Jeffrey, and Amy Carter. Before he became president, he was a peanut farmer and also an officer in the Navy. Carter's political party was Democratic National Convention, and he got elected November 2nd, 1976. His vice president's name was Walter Mondale. Walter Mondale was described to have a creaky voice, bland manner, but he had a sparkling personality as he was a man of wit and charm. Mondale was hardworking, independent, and an opportunist as he traveled extensively throughout the nation and the world advocating U.S. policy. Mondale also handled 13 foreign assignments, including sensitive missions in Europe, and he played a significant role in winning support from Democratic interest groups and legislators for Carter. Carter served in office for 4 years, 1977 to 1981. During his 4 years of presidency, the U.S. didn't fight against any countries aside from 8 people who were killed during a hostage rescue mission during the Iranian Revolution. Now I will talk about 3 of Carter's greatest achievements during his presidency. One of his greatest achievements was fixing China-U.S. diplomatic relations. On December 1978, the U.S. and China announced that they would recognize each other and form official diplomatic relations. Carter decided to normalize relations with China despite the risk of losing relations with Taiwan. To finalize the relations with China, the U.S. had to recognize that there was only one China and Taiwan was a part of China. The U.S. began official diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China on January 1st, 1970, and opened embassies March 1st. The China-U.S. diplomat relation affected people in the U.S. as China traded with the U.S. These relations led to huge trade imports of finished consumer goods and also led to the loss of jobs in the U.S., as products that were made in the U.S. were now being made in China. Millions of people were affected from the trades as they lost their jobs as China traded these products with them. But these trades also provide more food and clothes to the people and other products from China at a cheaper cost. This event shed light on how having trades with different countries can be good or bad, as people started to lose jobs due to other countries trading products with the U.S. But considering this, the trades brought a lot more good, as it is still going on between the U.S. and China to this day. Carter's plan in creating relations with China was to improve the economy. Carter thought by trading with China, the economy would be better, as he would be buying products at a cheaper price than what he would originally be paying for the goods. Overall, the historical significance for this event won't change, as trade with China still happens today. The president/citizens will want to keep these trades going to bring in cheaper products than they would usually be. Furthermore, another great achievement of Carter was the Camp David Accords. In 1978, Carter mediated negotiations between Israel Prime Minister Menachem Begin and Egyptian President Anwar Sadat. Under agreement, Israel returned Egyptian territory won during 1973 war. In return, Egypt extended full diplomatic recognition to Israel. This negotiation affected millions of people who were involved with the Arab-Israel dispute and people who got caught up in the war. The results were long-lasting, as the treaty still stands today. Global war is always a concern because if there's war in the world, like how we have war right now in the Middle East, the U.S. would feel obligated to make peace, which takes resources away from the U.S., as they have to pay for soldiers to fight in the foreign wars and also help pay for supplies. Carter's reason for helping mediate negotiations with Israel Prime Minister and Egyptian President making Camp David Accords was to stop the fighting in the Middle East and make peace between them. He did this to ensure that they didn't bring war to the U.S. and also did this to gain a better relationship with both parties. Over time, the historical significance of this event will change due to all the fighting in the Middle East and a lot of the countries in the Middle East wanting to move towards a democratic process. This could affect the U.S. because all the fighting in the Middle East could bring the war over to them. Lastly, another one of Carter's greatest achievements was when he created a new cabinet department. On August 4th, 1977, the Department of Energy was created in response to the energy crisis when they were faced with a shortage of substantial petroleum. The Energy Department affected people as it convinced people to reduce their use of energy and practice better ideals to saving energy. Millions of people were affected by the Energy Department. Lots of people's lives were changed due to the Energy Department as prices were raised and they had to pay more. They were forced to reduce their use of energy and find other ways to use energy. Carter shed light on the fact that we were using too much energy and needed to cut back on our use of it. The changes that this department brought are still here today but have improved even more and have gotten even more detailed as the years went on. The Energy Department was made to further develop warfare and protect the country from running out of energy. In Carter's speech addressed to the public, he said, "This tax money will go into an energy security fund and will be used to protect low-income families from energy price increases, to build a more efficient mass transportation system, and to put American geniuses to work solving our long-range energy problems." The Energy Department started an energy data collection / analysis program and nuclear weapons program. Over time, the Energy Department will probably change a little bit more, where people start to research more about warfare and how to develop that, rather than also thinking of how to conserve more energy or find alternative methods. On the other hand, Jimmy Carter's term of presidency wasn't all good when it came to the Iranian hostage situation. On November 4th, students overran the embassy and seized more than 60 Americans. Khomeini, a revolutionary and politician, saw a chance to increase his powers and gave a statement in support of the action against the Americans. The students said they would not release the Americans until the U.S. returned Shah for trial, along with billions of dollars they claimed were stolen from Iranian people. The way Carter handled this Iranian hostage crisis was very poor. Carter decided to freeze investments to Iran in hopes of pressuring them to release the hostages. This didn't work, and Carter kept getting pressured to do more, so on April 11, 1980, he approved of a high-risk rescue operation. This operation didn't go well at all. He had to abort the mission due to 3 malfunctioning helicopters, and when the other helicopters took off, one crashed into a C-130 transport plane, 8 servicemen were killed, and 3 were injured. The Iranians used this footage to show how bad the Americans were. The hostages weren't released until Ronald Reagan took office. Therefore, Jimmy Carter's handling of the situation wasn't the best it could have been. Overall, Carter's achievements helped to develop the U.S. further during his presidency.